Gotsky looking for that damage, finds him on the Diablo. Diablo forced it back out as their health drops low. The Immortal now is at 25%.
Back down, Yo on the Grey Man, gonna be the first to fall. But is it ETC? No, that's Malthael up there. A triple.
Leyline used in the back, catching 3 people on top of that, followed up by the APOC and the lurking on, catching 2, but this time on is gonna be the first one.
Wow, did you see that mosh pit? 4-man mosh pit while on a conveyor belt. That was like a regular sushi.
There's the lead, catches him in the mud pit. Time trap does pop. Mosh pit goes out. Ruby's still in trouble. Pops to stay a while and listen, but it's not going to matter.
Here comes the Boros on the backside, but he's doing it under and then stunned. Oh my goodness! The combo!
Getting shrunk down, ETC getting killed. He becomes dog food for the Grey Man.
I didn't think they had a chance. I thought it was all over. We said all or nothing, and they got absolutely everything.
Good evening. Blah, blah, blah. All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Nexus Gaming Series, Season 13, Nexus Division tonight. And just letting the teams know that I'm ready, because they're actually ready to go, which is rare for that to happen. But we are tonight going to catch a match between the Minion Miners and ICC Archons. And again, this is a Nexus Division, so pretty close to the top of the competitive divisions. You've got the Heroic, you've got Storm Division in there. But Nexus is it's above Division A, so you've got your kind of your single group, no coasts divisions out there, and this is one of those. So taking a quick look here at the, let's see the standings. See what the standings look like. Oh, that's right, it's the first week. So none of the teams have really had a whole lot of opportunity to play games, right? We've got a few games in there. It looks like 3 so far for Nexus. But right now, neither of the ones that we're watching tonight have had that chance. So they're looking to get their first points on the board for Season 13. Go ahead and highlight those real quick for you. And taking a quick look at our maps. Our map bans here tonight from Minion Miners, banning out Towers of Doom and Battlefield of Eternity. The Archons, they took out Sky Temple and Volskaya Foundry. And our first map of the evening going to be Alterac Pass. The teams are all ready to go, so I guess we'll just get into this draft right now. It is always nice when things are ready to go on time. Keep things moving along here. Our first bans of the evening here going to be Anubrak and Chromie. So right out of the gate, we're seeing heroes banned a little bit differently than what we've seen in the other casts earlier this week. Again, this is a little bit of a different division. You've got a little bit higher overall skill cap for these players. So you're going to see things that are going to be a little bit different. Chromie has some pretty excellent stall here, preventing teams from getting the control point on the prison camps, as does Junkrat. And then the Anubrak and Johanna, 2 strong tanks. Interesting to see the Anubrak being the first ban. Whether that is a target ban, or if it's something that the Archons don't want to deal with. Li Ming, the first to be picked up here tonight by Apparition. And much like Chromie, Li Ming can poke from pretty far away, be able to stall out the control point capture, but she's also just a lot of damage, right? She provides the potential for resets, whether it's from the Triumvirate at level 4, getting kills. You get 1 kill, you are moving on to your next one pretty quickly. So Sylvanas, Brightwing going to be the pickups here for Minion Miners. Brightwing with that global, as well as the big heal, the burst heal that you get from that phase shift. Possibly more importantly, the ability to reduce that Li Ming damage a pretty significant amount with her Pixie Dust spell armor. Some of the other potential heroes that we could see may have some pretty significant spell damage as well. So all around, Brightwing, just a strong hero here. Apparition is the best Chromie in the world, half to ban. Well, there you go. I've heard Sir Mac of Cheese is the GOAT. I mean, maybe. Muradin and Blaze. So picking up both of the frontliners here for the Archons. Both of those having some really strong stun potential. So Anduin going to be the follow-up ban. Not a big surprise because Anduin coming in with a light bomb on a Blaze or a Muradin could be a very significant amount of CC to have to deal with, and not something you really want to deal with. Let's see, MJ doing a Blaze. Okay. And then you follow that up with Li Ming, and pretty much any build you go with Li Ming would follow up really well with a couple of stuns. So I'm interested to see what flavor of Ming we get tonight. Garrosh going to be the third and final ban here for the Archons. Only the cheesiest. I know that it's not correct, but I've always enjoyed calling him Senor Mac of Cheese. Like it just works, right? Like tell me that doesn't work. Don't tell me that doesn't work, because it works. All right, we're gonna get Jaina and Deathwing. Deathwing, unstoppable. Literally cannot be stopped unless you kill him. So Muradin, Blaze, those big stuns are not going to provide any significant value against Deathwing, but he's also a really large target, and Li Ming should be able to hit him relatively easily. So I'm interested to see if this is something like a main tank Deathwing, which I have seen. It's been a while, but I've seen it. Or if this is a an offlane Deathwing, could also be possible. Doubling down on the global potential. Yeah, I was gonna say I think that's the main. Nova coming in, so Nova's gonna be able to put some pressure in on that Li Ming. Ultimately, you know, Brightwing can't phase shift to Deathwing, so this is all about being able to provide value elsewhere on the map, and Deathwing does have the ability to regenerate his own health over time too, so we'll kind of see how that goes. But these are your teams. Let's make sure they didn't switch around anything here at the last second. Don't think they did. Nope. Actually, I think they did. Sure did. And Jaina? Yes, they did. Okay, there we go. All set. So game number one between Minion Miners on the left and ICC Archons on the right. Gonna get right into it in just a moment. All right, here we go. Game number one on Alterac Pass. On the left, we've got Minion Miners Marshall. They're going to be on the Sylvanas Hemibo. On the Nova, we got Senor Mac of Cheese on Jaina. Wesgra going to be on that Brightwing, and Murderin on the Deathwing. Over here to the right for the Archons, we've got Jaeger on the Tychus. Rhaegar going to be played by Foxington, doing a little dance. Let's just zoom in on... yeah, there we go. Little Rhaegar dance. We got Jacqueline Hyde on the... Muradin. Oh man, that's gonna be fun to do. We got Blaze played by MJ Dune, and the Apparition on the Li Ming. Muradin on one side, Murderin on the other side. This is gonna be all kinds of chaos. It's a good thing Murda's not in this game, because I don't know what I would do then. So you know, I've been casting a good long time. I don't know that I've ever cast a Nova in an actual competitive match. Certainly joking around in brawls and whatnot, but so just gonna throw it out there. I'm not gonna know pretty much any of her talent names, so just letting you know that's gonna be happening. All right, so let's check this out. With this strat with the Deathwing and Nova, we've got Jaina with the wave clear in the bottom lane. We've got Sylvanas with wave clear in the top. Also has the potential to push. She's going to head down and probably head right to the mid camp. Well, okay, so she'll clear the lane and then go to the mid camp. And I am interested to see how this all kind of plays out with Sylvanas. Like, do we see her take Merc Queen? Are they looking to focus heavily on building around the push potential of Sylvanas? And how does Nova fare in the lane soaking? Right now against Blaze, seems to be doing somewhat okay, but I think that was because Blaze was a little bit... well, no, Blaze and Jaina were down there earlier, so... Both camps going to be picked up about the same time. However, Sylvanas out of mana is going to go ahead and hearth back to try to catch up on that. Senor Mac of Cheese gets caught by the grenade. The polymorph coming out, making sure that Muradin there cannot get that Stormbolt. That Stormbolt lands, and Jaina might be the first kill of this game, but Brightwing doing some heavy lifting and making sure that's not the case. And now with Sylvanas done with the siege camp there, Nova's going to head up to deal with that, bringing Sylvanas into the lane for the ability to just clear it, right? Big, heavy stack of minions there coming in, and it's going to be possession, so no Merc Queen, instead looking to generate pressure through the minions. A little bit of a dance up here between Apparition and Muradin. Nova getting chased down here, has Muradin and Rhaegar following, but ultimately able to make it away. Jaina nearby to provide some assistance should it be necessary. In the rhythm, the choice there for Tychus, so really looking to have that eternal minigun value on the Deathwing, because really Deathwing's the only one with the significant enough health pool to not really consider maybe looking at some of the other options there, right? I guess there's really only one other option, and that would be if you're going Master Assassin, so because bigger they are would really only work against the Deathwing significantly. All right, Jaina's going to head over with Brightwing to pick up that camp. Tychus going to start over here. I imagine Rhaegar's going to come over and help in a moment as well. And really, at this point, it's just a soak game. Up in the top lane, though, because Deathwing has a little bit more wave clear, and of course the threat of Nova being just wherever she wants to be on the map, Li Ming can't be too far ahead. Because if she goes out too far without knowing where that Nova is, that could potentially turn into a very quick kill there for the Nova. But having the pressure and the wave clear from that Deathwing, already one tower down in the top lane. Mid lane, pretty open still. One tower near falling here on the blue side for the minion miners. The wall already down, and then bot lane, of course, almost untouched. Because between these two, they both do have pretty decent wave clear, so not really able to get anywhere with that. Muradin looking for the stun, ended up catching the Nova clone. And of course, the stun's no longer working as they did oh so long ago. So there's no Stormbolt level 1 to Perfect Storm to increase the damage. I guess there is Perfect Storm, but it's not the same style of just hitting people with it. And of course, the trait went away. 25 seconds on left camp, 29 on the right camp. So first attempt to channel there by Jacqueline Hyde for just a brief moment, as Deathwing then dropping the slowing pool. And I think this is kind of... I think the plan here might be, you know, to try to stall out camps as long as possible and get value elsewhere with like the Sylvanas. Maybe that's part of the plan here. Right now, that's not really working. They are able to pick up the channel on the side of the Archons, but it is going to get stalled out here. Jaina actually is going to pick that up, and it is going to be Seeker there for Li Ming. I really was wondering if we were going to see an Arcane Missiles build out of Li Ming with that big heavy target, and of course the stun potential from Blaze and Muradin. Speaking of that stun potential, just a bit off there on the Jaina, so no stun there. Most of these heroes pretty low on health, so if Li Ming can hit that Seeker on anybody that's not Deathwing, that'll be, you know, certainly eventually as much as half of their health. So it could be a pretty strong value play there by the Li Ming. Muradin coming up here to clear out the minions, of course, providing the vision, so this will get scouted out. Nova's going to come up here just to threaten the Muradin as both teams get their siege camps out again. Level 10's now here for minion miners. Archons just a little bit behind, and Blaze trying to pick that up in the bottom lane as they do get that. Li Ming very much in danger. Nova coming in with the big slow, and it's first blood going over to the Minion miners. And that's exactly what I was talking about earlier, is Li Ming has to be careful about that. If you're even more than a few feet away from your gate, you're toast, especially if you don't have a gate. If you have no towers to provide the vision and defenses, then you don't even really need the Jaina. Just the Nova by herself along with the Deathwing would have been enough there. But a good rotation from Minion miners to come up, catch themselves a quick kill. Not any attempt to pick up the channel. And I think that is likely on purpose because, again, Sylvanas trying to push up this bottom lane. They want the camp to take as long as possible. They want the focus on the camp. Another kill there, this time onto the Brightwing. Nova coming down as well. Deathwing coming down as quickly as he could, but even the Cataclysm, not enough. As Li Ming with a big orb, landing onto the Jaina, getting them a triple kill. Deathwing having to use the healing well here. Only has that 10 armor, as no more armor plates to do anything. Can we just point out the fire breath there, the molten flame from Deathwing right in the front of Tychus. And he just stared death in the face, like, you can't hit me from here. I've got more range than you. Mid fort is going to go down as Deathwing using that Skyfall to drop some meteors out there. But bottom lane already sitting at half health. So overall, the fact that Minion miners lost 3 people and lost the cavalry, they did get most of that bottom fort. So it does open up that potential as the next wave comes in. But they have to clear up the incoming Wolf Riders before they can do that. So up in the top is when we're gonna see the biggest commitment of resources from both teams. Mid lane already starting to push onto keep wall, so falling a little bit low now, but that will take out it looks like probably that tower. Jaina heading down there to deal with that. Himibo looking for something. But who do you go after in those 3, right? You got Blaze, who's pretty healthy. Tychus isn't all that unhealthy in that circumstance, and he can use his dash away. And then you got Rhaegar, who can just heal it. So really just trying to slow things, I think, was the goal there. So ultimately no additional forts lost for that pressure. Just the top wall, of course, mid fort gone, and one of the towers for the keep. So still a net positive, of course, for the Archons, but remaining tied in XP. Minion miners still in a pretty good position here. Blaze going to get a big stun. If that was a little bit closer, so the fort could have gotten some attacks out there as well. Sylvanas might have been in trouble, but in a good place. Now we watch the Deathwing walk. See how much damage Tychus can do there. Not an insignificant amount. I mean, that's half of Deathwing's health in just walking, so pretty decent with that Tychus. Tychus sitting with 16 stacks on the rhythm, so not a whole lot. Gonna need more for that to really be of great value. And here comes Brightwing, maybe looking to see if they can't get that Murden. The mind control just missing, but they got the Li Ming below, not quite able to get Murden, popping the Avatar, and a big double stun there, out hitting the Nova, but it is going to be that Pixie Dust, given the speed boost as well, so Nova able to get out of danger there. Murden very, very low. Himibo may be looking to try to finish that, but just not enough. And there's going to be the first fort of the game in favor of Minion miners. Second one not too far away either here, as Nova using her precision strike to take out the full wave in the bottom lane and maybe give now Sylvanas the opportunity to give them a second fort. Archons picking up their camp, so they will have that pressure on the map, and of course the mid lane is where they've already pushed that up toward the keep wall, so that could be a dangerous circumstance, as Nova getting absolutely just deleted. And that's exactly what I was talking about, right? You've got a glass cannon Li Ming, which is a little risky going into the Nova. But if you can avoid getting obliterated by Nova, the damage potential with the mirror ball right here, sending out 5 missiles plus that Seeker at level 7 is absolutely crazy. It's like 2k damage from one shot. Yeah, see, look at that. One of these minions has 1700. Li Ming just killed it in one shot. So, and that's not against a hero. So we'll see how that continues here with the game. But right now, it's Minion Miners with the overall structure advantage. Murden going in, trying to stall things out there. Precision Strike is going to land onto Murden, but he's still got the Avatar, so pretty significant health pool. Ancestral, I think, went out there as well. Jaeger in a bit of damage as Sylvanas trying to keep the Tychus off of Deathwing. And look at that health bar just get destroyed. Sylvanas 100 to 25% or so in just the blink of an eye. Maybe not 100, close. 80. Never change, miners. Yeah, exactly. If you got something that works that's a little off standard, it can be really difficult to play into, because you have to adapt your own strategy to deal with the random nature of whatever it is. And there's Nova. Holy cow, gonna make it out, maybe? Jacqueline Hyde going in with the dwarf toss, but not quite able to finish the kill there. Blaze trying to keep them in the XP game at the bottom here, as both teams, again, still pretty even. Minion Miners very slightly ahead in the XP advantage. And that siege camp that we saw earlier did not quite get far enough to provide any value, as they're going to send out both on the siege camps on either side here in just a moment. And this is, again, you know, this possession turning the minions to your side, changing, you know, 7 minions into 10v4 basically. Bottom lane now has the boss potential, and of course bosses are not super powerful here, but this boss will certainly build up and take out this keep if it's just left to its own devices. So Ming probably the best potential burn to clear that, but Blaze gonna get caught, drops into the bunker, so no Cone of Cold here. Can he make it out? The water elemental is going to come out. Precision Strike is going to miss. Oh my goodness. Nova finishing the job just at the last moment there. And maybe Precision Strike didn't miss. That was, I'm not sure if that was Nova shooting or if that was the Precision Strike, but it was pretty close. Either way, Blaze taken out there, and that gives now Minion Miners the opportunity to start the channel for the first time this game. Boss in the bottom lane is going to be able to do, again, pretty decent damage here. It's not going to take out the full wall, but it gives an opportunity, right? This wall is nearly down. There is one tower left, but if Minion Miners can pick up this cavalry here and push that down into that bottom lane, that could open up a keep for them. Big drop on the armor of Murden there. Trying to stall it out is Tychus, but Murden's just going to get taken out while Tychus is trying to stop the channel, and ultimately that's going to force them back. Without Murden and Blaze still being in the graveyard, there's really nothing that they could do there. Zoning ult, yeah, pretty much. You can't go here, so you're going to die. Foxington now in danger, gets slowed by the Nova with the Deathwing coming in. Had to use the Ancestral to make sure to remain alive there. And you see all of the resources from Minion Miners committed to the bottom lane. As I mentioned, they really want to focus this down. They have the most pressure here. There goes Sylvanas shutting down the tower so that they can start working on that. Apparently it bounced off a player and got to the tower there as well. To the fort, rather, the keep. Same as the last 8, yeah. All right, first keep goes down. Blaze is trying to deal with up top, the mid fort down as well. And level 20 is here for the Minion Miners. And the core here only down to 20 armor, but it is going to regenerate the little bit of health that it lost Marshall taking quite a bit of damage there, is going to have deploy, but Mind Control is going to come out and land on Tychus, and Tychus is just going to get melted by the Deathwing as the Murden there gets caught by that root from Jaina as well, but is able to dwarf toss away. The health bars on the Minion Miners, though, pretty low. And this is an interesting pick. I love this pick. You don't see it very often. Speedy Dragon, ladies and gentlemen. That is awesome. A faster phase shift, the 20% movement speed. It is very difficult now to hit the Brightwing. Is it the right call? Maybe, maybe not. The upgrade to Pixie Dust, which I don't recall what it's called, the level 20, being able to do an AoE. Maybe that could have worked because of the Li Ming, but they haven't had significant issues with that. So having Speedy Dragon allows Brightwing the opportunity to get away from the Murden, from the Blaze, from the Li Ming, and keep her on the map, which is really important. Top boss coming in. Once again, the possession to provide even more pressure here. Looking for really Blaze to clear that out. I suppose the Tychus. Oh, I didn't want to do that. To try to clear out the lane as well. And there's the Mind Control. Oh my goodness, how did that not hit Muradin? So close. Muradin jumping in with Avatar, was looking for the Sylvanas stun. Deathwing gonna come in with the Cataclysm here. Boss still pretty healthy and could cause problems onto that core, so they still have to deal with that. They can't really focus on pushing up onto the blue team here. Gonna take out that elemental. And right now, Archons have the advantage from a ultimates standpoint. Brightwing the only one with any ultimate value right now on the side of Minion Miners. So we'll see if they're able to press up and make anything happen with that. Early use there on the Ancestral. Quite a bit of value from that level 20 upgrade. So 34 seconds left on the prison camp. Yeah, I guess that's true, Ors. Especially without the safety dust at 13 for the additional. Kind of just focusing on surviving through avoidance instead of surviving through damage reduction. All right, Li Ming's gonna start the channel. Now, these two lanes will become a problem eventually if left alone. 2 lanes is enough to finish a core. So Archons really have to get this pressure or keep this pressure up. They can't really afford to back away too significantly because they don't want to lose the cavalry. They just need to keep this active and going. 25 seconds left. Let's zoom out a little bit so we can just keep an eye on what's going on. Mind Control is going to come out, and Bunker, who's just in time to save the Blaze. Not sure that he survives it, though. He has no health. Is going to be able to make it out, but Can Murden is going to get that Dwarf Toss. So surprisingly, nobody dead yet. Jacqueline Hyde there getting hit by the Precision Strike, so Murden going to be able to survive a moment, but it's Blaze who's going to fall. And Third Wind activated now for Murden as Minion Miners going to lose the Nova. Holy cow! Seeker Mirror Ball absolutely putting in the work here. Jaeger looking for the Jaina, does have that slow on the overkill, but Deathwing with the Molten Flame is going to provide some zoning, but it doesn't matter. Once again, Li Ming coming in with a huge Seeker, this time on the dragon, and it turns out that it takes time to cast Cataclysm, and ending the world, it's not going to happen if you've got a big wizard nearby. Jaina throwing out the Cone of Cold and the Blizzard, nearly taking out that Li Ming. That could have been a big problem if they lost that Li Ming there. And she doesn't have a lot of health, so having that combo hit would have been a big challenge. Tychus trying to clear up the lane. May end up losing the fort, though, because these minions are still attacking and bringing the keep, rather, down. And you see Blaze coming back to deal with the top lane here. Precision Strike is not going to take it out. The second one does it. So there are no keeps left for the Archons. They do manage to pick up the camp, but this is at best maybe they get some forts out of this. There are still pretty significant defenses on the side of Minion Miners, so they've got a pretty decent amount of control in their favor here. Blaze is going to head down to try to keep the lane pressure up to move that forward. What am I watching? Zloth. This is the Nexus division between Minion Miners and ICC Archons. And if you mean main tank Deathwing with a Nova, that's what you're seeing. That's what I got for you. Jaina gonna get taken out by the Li Ming combo. His precision strike is gonna take out... No, it's not. It was gonna try to take out the cavalry, but it just couldn't do it. Ancestral coming in clutch, keeping the Avatar Murd alive there. Marshall getting stunned by the Murd, and can they get the kill onto the Sylvanas? Not quite. Hemibo able to make it away as well. Foxington now with the conflagration from the Deathwing. Jacqueline Hyde jumping away, and Deathwing having to pull back. Does not have the health to survive another Li Ming combo, so has to pull back. Murden making use of that third win. MJ Doom, though, left on an island entirely solo, had to get away quickly or that was going to be a problem. Deathwing's up in the air for a bit. No Jaina on the side of Minion Miners. Needed that mind control to land. And Archons providing significant value in all three lanes now. Mid keep gone. Deathwing's going to land out onto the Murden here, and that's a big hit to the old spell armor. So 2 keeps down, possibly a third in just a moment here, it looks like. And we now have an even game. What looked like it was just a minor value play turns out to being an absolutely incredible value play. 5 structures down from 1 single objective. Both teams gonna head out on boss duty now, and we've got a bit of a race here. It looks like the red team, Archons, gonna clear up that lane, try to get the pressure up into the boss as quickly as they can. Blue team just doesn't quite have that same time, so it's a question of, can red team kill this core before everybody's back? There goes the Avatar along with the Ancestral. It's coming for the second round. Blaze with the bunker. Core at half health. Jaeger gets feared. Tychus is gone with the Odin. 6k left. Can they do it? The boss is still extremely healthy, and they do. Ladies and gentlemen, the biggest comeback I maybe have ever... No, that's not true. The second biggest comeback I've ever seen. And it's right here. Can you believe that? That is absolutely insane. Minion Miners looked so strong throughout the entirety of this game. And it all started with one Li Ming combo that took out a Nova that allowed them to keep pushing in, move in onto the prison camp, take it over, get the prison camp, take 2 forts, 3 keeps, burn the boss faster, and win the game. Can you believe it? I can't believe it, and I just watched it. Let's give them their point. What an intense game. What a way to finish that game. Like, there's just so much to say. I can't even imagine how that worked out. That is a question. Both teams, whichever team we get in the end for the interview, that is going to be a fun question to ask. I think I've done both of those, so we'll go ahead and come back to me. Welcome back, everybody. Hey, Hamlin, good to see you, buddy. I'm still in awe about this. I've said it 3 times, and I still can't just... my brain cannot comprehend the fact that the red team's core was at half health and fully regenerated, and they win the game. and they were able to get the boss quicker. They responded quicker. They deserved to win that game because the plays that they made ultimately were just a little bit faster and a little bit more better executed at the end of the game. And you know, unfortunately, a lot of the way that the game works at this point is play for the end of the game. You know, if you can make mistakes throughout the early stages of the game, but ultimately it's the end of the game that will matter. Looks like we've got our next map. It's gonna be Tomb of the Spider Queen. Very different sized map, kind of similar in the overall setup of the objective. And it looks like this was a red team map pick. Imagine sending me a text in the middle of a in the middle of a cast. But thank you for watching. I appreciate it. They really did. Yeah. And it just goes to show like that how much of a difference the, you know, one kill can make. Poor Himbo getting turned into mist. Yeah, exactly. And that's personally, that's my favorite build to go with Li Ming, if for no other reason than just simply the dopamine. I was gonna say the rush of endorphins. That's not what I was going for. The dopamine of hearing Seeker hit shunk, and you know that when you hit that, that health bar just goes brrr. So good. All right, gonna take just a quick moment. I would like to get a quick drink, and it sounds like they needed to do a quick bio, so we'll be back in approximately, we'll call it 2 minutes. So BRB.
When I was young, I lived a life of recklessness. In my selfishness, I inflicted pain and hurt those I cared for. I have learned many lessons in my struggles with doubt and fear. Balance and harmony are not easily attained. They must be fought for! But on my journey, I have learned another lesson. You do not have to fight alone.
Let's do this!
All right, welcome back, everybody. I have to say that's one of my favorite clips that the Blizzard team put together. The Hanamura clip with Diablo and Genji and D.Va. And it's been quite some time, several years, of course, since that came out. There was so much speculation that Deathwing was coming to the Nexus, and Just a variety of aspects of that made it a lot of fun to, you know, to really get into the community and the game development and everything like that, and try to figure out what was coming from their sneak previews and everything. But just the videos overall are really entertaining. So, all right, we are currently up 1-0 in favor of the Archons. As we get set up for game number 2 here, it's Tomb of the Spider Queen. Let's take a quick peek at our maps. Minion Miners, they banned out the Towers of Doom and Battlefield of Eternity. Archons banned out Sky Temple and Volskaya Foundry. Game number 1 there. Absolutely. I hope that gets... I don't know. Like, I feel like that needs to be clipped with a few different clips together and then put together into just a short video, like a 1-minute video of things that happened, because that is such a good setup for Archons on that all track pass. But game number 2 is going to be on Tomb of the Spider Queen here, so let's get into this draft. The Mecha Storm one is pretty badass too. I agree with you there, Stark. All right, Chromie is gone, and as was pointed out earlier, there's just no Chromie available. And there goes the Li Ming. You know what? Not a surprise at all. Not a surprise at all. Do not let Apparition get that Li Ming back if you want to have any kind of survival. Johanna going to be taken out this time, of course, by the Archons, as they are the map pick. And there goes Lucio. Lucio able to skate around Tomb of the Spider Queen. It's a very small map, so he can get pretty much anywhere in a very quick period of time. We're going to get Sylvanas here once again. And much like Alterac Pass, the Web Weavers with a Sylvanas providing pressure can get a huge amount of value. So we'll see if they're able to make use of that. Brightwing going to switch teams here, go over to Foxington. And Junkrat going to be the pickup. And Junkrat, for much the same reasons as Alterac Pass, can be really valuable here as well. Zone control, has that concussion mine, has the roots, the traps. Also has the ability to stall, so he can throw out those grenades and prevent people from turning their spider butts in. Gonna get some Deckard. Haven't seen a lot of Deckard, so looking forward to seeing that. Along with the Blaze, also switching sides. So couple of heroes just tagging in for the other team now. And Jaeger's gonna be the Junkrat. Well, maybe the Junkrat. We'll see. Anubrak gonna be taken out. So once again, no giant beetle for Minion Miners to have on their team. And what do you take out here? What are you concerned about? There's still a damage potential. You've got your tank in your off lane. Wasn't what I was thinking, but that's probably more targeted toward the team, because I don't have a lot of details about this team. By the way, for those of you who don't know, this is a cast that I picked up about 45 minutes ago, because unfortunately the original caster was stuck at work a little bit late, so stepping in to help out, which works out. I was kind of hoping to do a Friday night cast, and there weren't any, so I couldn't. So I'm happy to be here and doing it now. So Muradin and Yrel going to be the pickups here. Yrel saw a little bit of a buff in the recent patch, so interested to see how that goes against the Thrall, it looks like. And then Mephisto, and I really like the Mephisto. Now into the Brightwing, I wonder how that's going to play out. If we have Endurance, then Brightwing can cleanse it all. If we have Consume Souls, she's got Spell Armor, so it may not be... I don't know. That's interesting. From an ultimate standpoint, Mephisto just does a lot of damage to begin with, so I expect that to be pretty nasty to deal with, especially on a small map and, you know, narrow corridors and all that stuff. Dealing with that is going to be a challenge. But Orphea is going to be the pickup here for Apparition, so that's the mage we get. And there you go. There are your teams. See if we've got any movement on our heroes this time. It doesn't look like it. Good chunk got murdered. Okay. We are all good there. They attempted to triple ban App, but he plays lots of things. Indeed. You really, like, when you're talking about a player that has that kind of deep hero pool, you have to decide what are the biggest challenges for what you're dealing with. And they didn't want to deal with the Vala for potentially like the Deckard for sleeps. And then of course they've got that main tank Blaze, and that's their only real strong front line. They've got Thrall as kind of a secondary backup. So we'll see how this all plays out as we get into game number 2 between Minion Miners and the ICC Archons. On the right, we've got the Archons. We got Jaeger playing the Junkrat. Apparition, they're going to be on the Orphea. We got Foxington playing the Brightwing. Jacqueline Hyde on the Murden. And MJ Doom on the Urel. And to the left, it's Minion Miners. We've got Wesger. They're going to be on that Deckard Murderin on the Thrall, Marshall on the Sylvanas, Hemibo on the Blaze, and Senor Mac of Cheese on the Sylvanas. And I'm going to keep saying it that way. Until Mac of Cheese tells me that he doesn't want me to say it that way, then I'll absolutely stop it. But it's just too darned good. All right, well, there's Junkrat's value already booping Hemibo over the Muradin. Big root coming in, though, as Muradin cannot get away from that one. Got caught by the root from Thrall, then the follow-up root from Deckard. But phase shift coming in from the Brightwing is going to be able to keep Muradin fit and healthy and moving on with the team. Coming up here right now, looking for the Blaze. Blaze is going to get polymorphed and stunned and taken out. First blood. This game a little bit faster. Orphea not able to use that movement ability, her trait, to be able to get away with that Q, which I wish I could remember the name of. On point is her level 1 talent, which is what she took. Shadow Waltz, that's right. Dancing around. So in the last game, we saw a lot of rotation with the Nova going in to try to pick off some of the solo laners, being, you know, Li Ming, sometimes on the Blaze. So with this being such a small map, it wouldn't surprise me to see like the Sylvanas or the Mephisto rotating around to try to do exactly that. The wave clear on the side of Minion Miners with their 4-man is not... I mean, it's mostly in like the Blaze, especially at this point with Sylvanas down in the bottom lane. Mephisto does okay with it, but I think mostly it's on the Blaze. Here comes the Bruiser camp in the mid lane. And of course, that 20 spell armor giving them a little bit of extra value. Now, Sylvanas picking up the siege camp in the bottom lane. So that'll be a little bit more. MJ Dune not in any danger. Sylvanas going to head up to try to clear out this Bruiser camp, make sure it doesn't do too much to that mid wall. About half of the 1 tower down. So a little bit of value, but nothing too crazy. And the bottom siege camp didn't really get too much with the Urel either. Thrall now has the Brightwing coming in to provide a potential poly. There it is. Blaze going to provide a slow to help Thrall get away. Muradin misses the Stormbolt. So can Muradin chase down Murderin? That is the question. It's not going to happen as a big stun followed up by the Deckard root, that Scroll of Sealing, and another root coming out onto Apparition, but the Shadow Waltz allowing Orphea to dance away from danger. Checking in on the gem count, 43 total here for the Minion miners on the left as they get 25 of those turned in. 41 available for the Archons. And just now trying to turn in 25. Mac of Cheese, not overly healthy. Big root onto the Mephisto from the Junkrat trap. And quite a bit of damage from Orphea, but not enough to prevent Marshall from coming back in with that Shade of Mephisto. Our blue team now has enough gems to be able to get the Web Weavers on their side. Phase shift coming into the Yrel as we get the cleanse there from Brightwing. So wanted to check on Brightwing's talents here. So is going into that auto attack talent at 4. We'll see if we get the cleanse, and it is going to be the cleanse. So this is kind of what I expected the build from Brightwing, getting the magic spit for that additional range, but more importantly, the cooldown reduction on her AoE cleanse. That's going to be very helpful for things like Deckard's silence, or sleep rather, and the blaze stuns even potentially, the potential for Mephisto Durance of Hate. Like there's so many ways that that gives value, and then of course the critical mist healing is even more value because you've just been under a CC. The chances are you probably took or are about to take some damage. Getting that critical value out of healing is pretty important there. Marshall with the stall, 25 to 27 on the gem count so far here. And we see both in the bottom lane kind of hoping to turn in, but they're not gonna be able to do it 1v1 unless one of them falls. And a lot of the same up in the upper half of the map as the teams continue to get XP, continue to get those gems, as a few more are turned in. Looks like Thrall maybe turned in down in the bottom half of the map there. Yep. As Junkrat got some in the top half. So Blaze, really the primary for the blue side here with 19 gems to turn in. And Yrel sneaking around. Just might be able to get the turn in here. Blaze and Sylvanas, though, snooping around and will prevent that turn in. And I expect that we'll probably, you know what, let's zoom way out. Let's zoom all the way out so that we can try to see both of these control points. Murderin trying to turn in the bottom. Up above, though, Senor Mac of Cheese will get the turn in to finish the first Web Weavers coming onto the map. Both teams sitting about half away a level from level 10. So this could be just about the right time for Minion Miners to get level 10 while the Web Weavers make their way onto the map. Let's zoom back in here. No need to go to double down on the widescreen challenges for our mobile watchers. Phase shift coming in, I believe, down into the bottom. Yep, to Yrel. Murden could be in a little bit of an awkward place, but it's actually Junkrat who's going to get caught. Silence coming in from the Sylvanas, and it's just enough. Murden getting caught by the Durance of Hate, also by the sleep. Dwarf Toss interrupted. Big jet propulsion there is going to lock down Murden, and that is a double kill. Yrel has the ability to get away, so I don't think she's in any real danger there. The wave coming from the Web Weaver, though, forcing Orphea and Brightwing to split up. That should give Minion Miners control over mid fort here. The question is, how much more do they get out of it? With the top Web Weaver getting the fort down about half by itself, it looks like that's going to be a second structure going down. Minion Miners out for blood. After the way that last game finished, they want to make sure that they get as much pressure early in this game and then close it out. Do not want to give the opportunity for the ICC Archons to come back into this game at this point. Just checking to make sure if anybody was over there trying to stall. 38 out of 55, though. Pretty close to a second turn in. Brightwing's going to get a polymorph. The stun coming out lands onto the Murden, though. And we do get a Web Weaver turn in for the Archon. So we'll see now, pretty quickly after the Minion Miners got their Web Weavers, here come the Archons. We'll see how much value they can get out of it. They don't have the value of a Sylvanas to shut down towers, They don't have the advantage that Minion Miners had with 2 kills beforehand. So this is more likely to be a bit more traditional of a first Web Weaver, where they get, you know, walls. Maybe they can try to get 1 keep or 1 fort out of it. Probably not much more than that. Amiibo getting brought down quite low, about half from between the Murden stun along with Orphea doing some work, and of course the wave. Murder and getting caught by that wave as well. And you got to be careful about those waves. They are pretty decent amount of damage. Junkrat with the concussion mine. Here comes the root out onto the Muradin as Junkrat's Riptire just not quite able to finish the job. Oh, here we go, and it's gonna miss. Big stun in the back line there onto Senor Mac and Cheese, but it's actually the root out onto Muradin there. Luckily that skull missile missed, or Muradin would probably be in the graveyard this moment. Web Weaver's completely gone. So as mentioned, really just a little bit of damage onto the walls. Pretty traditional for that first Web Weaver when you don't have any kills, right? It's very difficult to put that pressure out there when it's an even defense, but it's a little bit easier to do it when you've got 2 back-to-back. Your lanes are pressed pretty far forward overall, so you can keep that pressure up, and those Web Weavers are going to go right back into those towers. Here we go. Yrel versus Thrall. I expect that this will probably be fairly similar. A little bit of damage onto that bottom fort. Probably won't get too much more than that, but the team a little bit split up. Phase shift coming in onto the Junkrat. And now we've got Murden coming up to try to see if they can't get that stun out onto the Blaze. Jumping over the wall. Bunker may actually be isolating the Murden. Murden kind of questioning his life choices at this moment. But it's okay. He's able to make it out of there. Avatar keeping him nice and healthy. Marshall brought down to half or so by Junkrat's Riptire there. As Foxington blinking around. Here comes the Sylvanas with the silence, just kind of pushing everybody back. And so with 2 full Web Weaver waves here from the Archons, no actual significant structure. Murden not going to make it out of this dangerous place. And that's going to give Blue another Web Weaver, and check it out. We got 27 seconds before Murden's back on the map. This is another scenario here where you've got Sylvanas and Web Weavers together. Where can they get the value? Let's follow along with Senor Mac of Cheese. At least for the moment. Thrall versus Yrel still in the bottom. It looks like Sylvanas is saying, hey, let's start working on this keep. We've got an advantage in our talents. AM, good to see you. Welcome. And Orphea's going to try to do what she can in the middle lane here. Riptire's coming out. Going to hit onto 2. Senor Mac of Cheese going to get that potion to go right back to full health. As Murden having to jump out of danger from the Deckard root. Top keep sitting at about half health is going to go down a little bit more with that wave. Root going to land onto the Mephisto, but he just goes right back. Rubber bands himself right back to the original point of his shade. And bottom lane still doing all right. Ultimately, Thrall able to get a little bit more value with the Web Weaver than Yrel has so far. Baked mac and cheese. And now I really want some mac and cheese. All right, while we're waiting, while we've got a little bit of lull here, mac and cheese. What kind of cheese do you prefer for your mac and cheese? I gotta know. Tell me. All right, Bruiser Camp coming up for the Archons here. Murden going to jump away. All of the ultimates available basically for both teams. As Junkrat's Riptire is back now. Jet propulsion gonna land. Murden able to get away. Didn't have any follow-up there. Endurance of Hate misses. But it's okay. That's a pretty short cooldown. Yrel looking possibly to flank. if the minion miners get a little too close there. Concussion mine gonna boop out the blaze, but it's not gonna matter. Only the Murden caught by the sleep, as Orphea did get the pull out onto the blaze, but not enough here. Junkrat's gonna interrupt the jet propulsion, likely saved some lives there as Urel trying to get in onto that onto Marshall, and it's gonna be Blaze who does fall first. The bunker just not enough to save Himibo, I think. Yeah, not enough to save Himibo there for that moment. Webweavers eliminating the top keep on their way to the core, so this now has to be dealt with. So even losing the blaze, that's still a pretty significant value for minion miners. Getting that keep down and keeping the pressure up with catapults coming into the lane for the rest of the game. I like the Gouda. I like that one. Blended with sharp cheddar, that sounds good, with smoked pepper jack. I will say I'm not a huge fan of pepper jack. I like it from time to time. I in no way do I think that that's a bad choice. It's just not a great one for me, but I can see it being pretty solid with that. All right, Mephisto coming in with the delay here. Murden trying to avoid the root, does so. Another stall, this time from Sylvanas. Durance of Hate missing once again. But a lot of potential opportunities there with the roots here. Jacqueline Hyde a little bit low, has the phase shift coming in, using the dwarf toss to get out of danger. And let's see those 16s for Archons, as I don't think we've seen those just yet. Smoked and topped with bacon. Yep, I can go for that. All right, quick boss burn here. Is it going to get sniffed out? This could go either way, really. Pulling off of the boss, so Wesgra, the Decker there, pretty low. Murden's going to jump out of danger, so three ultimates there used on the side of Minion Miners. That is a huge value for them. Missing on the Crushing Jaws. Riptire's going to hit. Can they get this Blaze? The Polymorph coming out. Big stun from Jacqueline Hyde. Phase shift coming out as well. Knockback coming from Urel. Himibo using that level 1 talent to get the movement speed as well, just to get out of there. Adrenaline Rush, I believe that is. Apparition continuing the chase. And MJ Doom looking for those jumps and slows. But ultimately, Deckard able to keep everybody alive, at least for the moment. Blaze there, jet propulsion to get out of dodge. So the boss play did not go, nobody died. So it certainly could have gone a lot more poorly than that. But they're actually going to go back there, because again, this is actually really big value here for Minion Miners. They had camps going in every single lane that still had defenses, and they didn't lose anything. So at this point, this is kind of the moment that I mentioned last game, where the Archons are in kind of a defensive place. They have to deal with everything that's providing pressure. They do have enough for a turn, but the turn gets them almost nothing when it starts, when the Webweavers start at the enemy minions. And there is level 10 here for Minion Miner. So the boss up in the top has to be dealt with. I think that at very minimum, we see maybe both keeps even going down in favor of Minion Miners. And keep in mind, no structures down on the side of Minion Miners. This is 100% their game at this point. Trying to finish off that keep. It has just the tiniest sliver of health. It's still there. It's, oh, I can't zoom in on the health bar, but it does have a health bar. At some point, somebody will go spit on it and it will fall over and die. Never made mac and cheese, so I shall leave it. How have you not made mac and... M, listen, I get it. You're not from the US. You gotta do it. It's so good. All right, there goes bottom keep, especially with Sylvanas to help keep that shut down. And again, you know, the Archons are in a rough place here. They don't have those level 20s. So the bottom keep will fall. Still mid keep available. And all they're trying to do is just keep Minion Miners away from them for the moment here. Blaze is going to get the stun. We've got the root. Here comes phase shift out onto Murden, so he's going to be able to leap away. Level 20s now here for the Archons as well. So both teams full up on their talents. There's the rewind from Murden, but Murden just absolutely obliterated. Apparition now about to be the next with a couple of auto attacks, and it looks like this could be the beginning of the end, as they're now chasing down Urel. Urel's going to jump and get a little bit of a movement speed out of that Hand of Freedom. But there goes that third keep, and Minion Miners now going to start working on this core. And that's going to be game 2 soon. Going over to... you know what? I'm not going to say it. I am assuming it's going to be game 2 going over to Minion Miners. But I guess technically you just don't know. That's going to finish it right there. That'll finish it. Getting the kill out on the Junkrat and the Brightwing at the end. That'll do it. I've made Casio e Pepe. I don't know what that is. I don't even know that I said it right. I probably didn't. 8 kills to 2. That was very heavily in favor of Minion Miners here. And it kind of fits with what I said at the beginning of, or once they got to that level 10, right? They took advantage whenever they could. They had a ton, an absolute megaton of CC, right? Thrall can root. Thrall can slow with the earthquakes. Mephisto has Durance of Hate, which is a spread root. You've got Blaze with the stuns and the slows. You've got Deckard with slows and roots and sleeps. And then you've got Sylvanas with the Wailing Arrow and the silence. Like, there were so many ways that they could layer that CC and just make it oppressive against the ICC Archons. So now, if you're the Archons, you got to figure out what you want to do for this next game. How are you going to make game number 3 go in your favor? And it's kind of hard to say, right? Because they did absolutely everything they could from a cleanse perspective with the Brightwing. That you really don't have anybody else that can provide that much cleansing utility other than really Lucio, who they banned. You can look at things like Yrel had Hand of Freedom, so that helps with those roots and those slows. You can look at things like Lunara, who has the level 13 Abolish Magic. But ultimately, if you have a Brightwing who can do an AoE cleanse, you kind of hope that that's enough. And it looks like we've got the third map coming up here. Find out who picked this one. Looks like it's our blue team. So switching off on each of the games here, on who's picking the maps and going first. But this is it. This is game number 3. This is a best of 3 series. Whoever wins this one gets the bonus point, right? They get the win for that series. Let's actually take a look again at the standings just so we can see where does this put everybody. So right now 1-1. Whoever wins this will be tied with the Gilly Shark at Bingo Night. And whoever loses will be tied with the Probes Pylons. Of course, there are a couple of other matches yet so far for the week. Are there 12 teams or 13? There are 12. Okay, so that's right. So we can actually just do this. How about that? Make it look like what they're actually doing here. Our third and final map of the evening, Infernal Shrines, and this is a bigger map. It's a different type of objective. Both of the last 2 maps have had an objective that pushes down in all 3 lanes simultaneously. This one, a little bit different, right? It goes to one single lane and one team wins it. So it's not like Braxis where you have the potential for push on both sides of it. It's whoever completes the kills, whoever defeats enough of those skeletal defenders to be able to pick up the Punishers and push down those lanes. I love how we perfectly fit that name into the limit. Indeed. There are a few teams that have tried to push that limit in the past. Yavapai being the most common one, I think. I think they were the first ones to try to push that 32 or 36 limit. This is it. Draft is up. We're going to get into that in just 1 second. Chromie banned, Sylvanas banned. Sylvanas played in both of the last 2 games, so this will be the first time for us to see a different hero for Senor Mac of Cheese. I really do want some mac and cheese now. And M, you didn't tell me, what is this Casio e Pepe? What is it? Like tell us about this wonderful food that you have mentioned but refused to describe. Brightwing going to get banned as well, and there goes Johanna. So Johanna banned all 3 games. She doesn't get to come out and play. Brightwing banned, I think, game 1, game 3. Right? No. Brightwing has played game 1 and 2. Does not get to play game 3. So we've seen Muradin twice out of Jacqueline Hyde there. And it's going to be Blaze coming back to the Archons. Is Em still out there? Maybe she's not out there. She is not. Maybe she went to stream. I should have done a shout out. Darn it. All right, well, whatever. We're going to get Deckard and Vala this time. So Vala switching, I shouldn't say switching, but was banned last game. Going to be going over to Minion Miners for this game. It's always exciting to have a 3-game set balanced back and forth. And a Nubrak, which was not banned, is actually going to get picked up this time. And Mephisto coming out as well. So I'm interested to see Mephisto on this map because of the shrines and how it's so often played. I feel like this is a really strong map for Mephisto and how he wants to play the game. You can get those the Durance of Hate from over the wall that you don't even know is coming. I'm gonna getting banned out, so no potential for a nano boosted consume souls. Taking that right off the table. And there goes Garrosh. And of course Garrosh was banned as well earlier. And that, you know, Garrosh is a tough hero to deal with at some points, and you know, when you're playing Blaze, he can be tough to kind of get around. You can obviously jet propulsion, but if Garrosh is in your way, you can't jet propulsion out, so you just have to deal with whatever problems he throws you into. But here comes the Sonya and Falstad. Now, switching up the roles potentially a little bit here. Either that, or we may see some swapping around of the heroes. Last 2 picks for the Archons. It's going to be Stukov, and I like the Stukov. And going back into the Junkrat. Actually, a little surprised that got all the way through. His W hits 2 of the roughly 3 choke points for the objectives. Absolutely, yeah. The whole area like is basically the size of his ring. So a lot of value potential from the Mephisto. It doesn't have, you know, super great wave clear, but again, I mean, Junkrat can do that. And Deathwing going to be the final pick here for Minion Miners. So going back into that Deathwing main tank. Now there's no Li Ming to get those resets and high value off of the Deathwing as they bounce who's playing it back and forth here. Make sure they didn't change anything else significant. Nope. Okay. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's game number 3 between Minion Miners and ICC Archons. This is it. This is for maybe not all of the marbles, but for one more of them. Who gets to win the first match of the season? And who has to take the consolation prize of 1 single point? On the left, it's going to be Minion Miners. We've got Senor Mac of Cheese. Going to be on the Vala. We've got Wesger there on the Deckard Murdering. On the Falstad, we got Marshall on the Sonya and Himibo on that Deathwing. And over to the right, it's the ICC Archons. We've got Jaeger on the Junkrat Apparition. Going to be playing the Mephisto Foxington on that Stukov, MJ Doom on the Blaze, and Jacqueline Hyde on the Anubrak.
Let the battle begin.
All right. So, a few stacking talents. Gathering Storm there for the Falstad, for his Boomerang. Hammerang, whatever. We got the multi-shot build there for Vala. And then, of course, Mephisto with his Skull Missile. And Nurak diving in is maybe going to get caught by the root. Did get the heal from Stukov, not quite going to be able to make it out of there as Murder and diving in on the Falstad to just finish the kill, but it's actually Sir Mac of Cheese who's able to get that kill. Overall, though, not a significant amount of XP from those early kills. We can see already that the lane XP evening out where we're at. That said, Mephisto, pretty far up, is just able to make it away. So no death from the rotation of Minion Miners. Although Himibo coming in is able to scout out the pickup of this camp here. That's about all they're going to be able to do out of it. Bottom lane going to get picked up for themselves. So very slight XP advantage for the blue side is just not picking up the minion XP that the Archons have. I think we can. Wrong one. That's what I was going for. So, Anubarak has a cocoon that does not work against the Deathwing. Could work against Sonya, probably. Maybe against the Deckard. Sonya can get anybody out pretty quickly with a Whirlwind, so it might actually end up being a Locust Swarm game. So we'll have to see how that plays out too, because Anubarak can interrupt Deckard's silence with a couple of different ways. So can Junkrat, so can Stukov, so can... I mean, there's a lot of opportunities there. So I don't know that they necessarily need the cocoon for that purpose. Cocooning the... A Wrath Sonya could be pretty valuable, though. So we'll see how that turns out. Camp picked up earlier there by Minion Miners. Did go out into the top lane. It got a little bit of value here. The wall sitting about half health. And ICC Archons looking to send theirs out to provide pressure while they start working on the skeletal defenders. Anubarak trying to go in and pull some of these minions away, make it a little bit more difficult for the Minion Miners. As 15 so far of those skeletal defenders dead already, so quite an advantage in the start of this in favor of the blue team. Deathwing, I imagine, yeah, is trying to get that XP. So now level 7s are here. We'll probably see Deathwing make their way up in just a moment. Although a slight advantage on the count here for ICC Archons. MJ Doom does not want to get killed here. This would be very, very bad for them. Able to get just barely away as 35 now of the skeletal minions for Archons, and they are going to be able to pick that up. Hey, Melissa, it's good to see you. Thanks for being here. All right, first Punisher of the game. It's going to be a Mortar Punisher, throwing out those grenades, if you will, and leap right over the wall here. A Cataclysm in front of the wall, so Deathwing on the side of all of those red health bars. But ultimately, that's enough to keep everybody back, and the wall is going to survive. Both towers still up for that Punisher, so really fantastic defense out of Minion Miners. And they're playing a very aggressive game. We saw this in game number 2. Well, really, we've seen it in all 3 games. In game number 1, it eventually backfired on them. Game number 2, it played out very well. So with the heroes that we have, Blaze, Anubrak, Junkrat, I mean, Stukov, like, there are a lot of ways that they can kind of be defensive in this. But it's hard to be defensive into a Deathwing, because a lot of the tools you might use defensively don't really help you against somebody who is unstoppable. Maybe a Flailing Swipe, not necessarily for the Deathwing, but to keep everybody else away and isolate the Deathwing so you can kill him quickly. That could be one way that they make use of this. We do have the Sticky Wicket for the silencing traps. These little boys right here. Of course, Deathwing, not so much bothered by those. Level 10s available now for Minion Miners. For a few moments, they've got an advantage as his bottom wall already down. They've got the Siege Camp coming in with them as well. And it's not going to be Wrath Sonya. It is going to be a Leap Sonya. So look for Sonya to be the aggressor, jumping in along with the Deathwing stuns. Possibly set up by Falstad with that Mighty Gust. Checking in on the XP numbers again. Just want to kind of see how that's playing out. Minion XP now in advantage for Minion Miners. Double stun out onto the Sonya. Silence coming in as well. But turning around with that pressure here. Blaze is up in the top lane, and they know it. Both teams have their level 10s. It is going to be Cocoon. Durance as well. And I do like the Durance here, because even though it doesn't directly affect Deathwing, Deathwing's an easy target to hit with it. And everybody else on the team then potentially getting the spread root from Durance. Well, that's not going to be a good day for them. They've got pretty low health pools overall. Getting caught by the Durance of Hate and rooted for several seconds likely means that they fall. Deathwing went Bellowing Roar, so there is that potential to disengage if the team is in danger. Getting that fear. Speaking of danger, Stukov getting caught by the leap here. Big stun coming out from the Deathwing. Foxington able to make it out just barely. Deathwing's, rather, the Deckard gonna get caught in the Cocoon, and that's gonna be it. A whole bunch of ultimates, but nobody falling. Stukov's still pretty low, so not really something that they can just jump right in. Big heal used, so that's going to be down for a good 15 seconds or so. As Sonya coming in gets a double stun with the silence. Riptire coming out, looking for the Sonya. He's going to knock Marshall back, but the sleep coming out is going to hit onto 2. And once again, many abilities used, but no deaths. Here comes Cataclysm for the Deathwing, going to provide a damage over time effect onto those minions, and also any heroes standing in it. Current advantage now for Minion, as the Durance Hate is going to land, and the silence locking down the Sonya, so that is a big win here for the Archons. Vala getting that strafe out, but it's 35 to 34 on the skeletal minions here. It's looking like it might, oh my gosh, 39-38, and it's going to go over to the Archons. It is just barely at that last moment able to pick those last couple. We saw Deathwing trying to use that Molten Flame to finish the job, but up in the top lane, that Bruiser camp has been going this whole time, so that's about to take out that fort. If you're gonna lose the objective, picking up the fort is not a bad trade. Mephisto brought very low thanks to the damage from that tower. Big Punisher stun onto 3, but it was so far back that they just could not do anything about it. Sonya, though, coming in from behind, is going to get that kill out onto the Mephisto. And now ICC Archons in full retreat. They did not lose their top fort, though. Blaze was able to make it there in time to keep that alive. It'll die soon enough. 2 kills to 1 so far in this game. One of those kills came in the first minute of the game. If we exclude that that moment, it's 1-1. And structure-wise, mostly in favor of Minion Miners, although walls are down. So there is the potential for that pressure, but Sonya's going to finish that top. So official advantage now to Minion Miners. Big stun from the Blaze. Nobody nearby to really capitalize on the follow-up, the stun follow-up here. But it looks like we're going to get the rotation, and Blaze is coming in as well. Nubrak's going to dive in, is going to get a double stun. Silence out onto the Falstad. Falstad trying to make it over the wall, does barely get it at that last moment. And we see Mephisto is like, I'm going for it, guys. If he's over there, I got it. We do still have most of the ultimates here. A lot of damage going out onto Deathwing as Mephisto getting caught by something. Looked almost like a root. Double stun there. The flailing swipe missing the Sonya as she got that leap in. Himibo gonna get taken out by Junkrat though. The red health bars are so very low. They're gonna take out the Mephisto. Sonya is in danger. Junkrat gonna be able to finish that kill. So 2 for 1, evening out the kill count. But that's 3 kills in the matter of a few abilities there. Anubrak saying, hey, maybe we can get this Vala. She's pretty far forward, but the rest of the team just not in a position to capitalize on the deep Vala there. Huh. I feel like we need the old nature music playing when you've got somebody like Deckard coming to do one of these camps. You know what I'm talking about? The old Looney Tunes like nature music, where you just expect something now is going to take forever because it's nature music. I don't know. But having some help certainly made that camp go a little bit faster, and we've seen this a couple times. Minion Miners has done a really good job of sending out their camps and then finding fights, and that's exactly what it looks like they're doing here. Vala pretty far away, so maybe not quite yet, but they are going to be looking to keep that pressure up. Blaze heading up to make sure that that does not do what it did earlier, basically, and get additional fort value. Stun out onto the Sonya. Jacqueline Hyde there having to get away. She's like, no, we can't do this. I'm a little too far forward. Stukov with the heal to keep things going, but right now, check out these potions, right? All over the place. 3 of them right there. Deathwing can't pick them up, but surely Sonya can if she gets into a dangerous place. Why don't I see the count? Has nobody... There we go, that's why. I don't really know why it wasn't showing the count there. Maybe it said it was active, but maybe they just hadn't finished the channel. Who knows? All right, Blaze out in the back there. Jacqueline Hyde gets the cocoon out onto Vala. Sonya's isolated, but here comes Deathwing with the assist. Himibo, though, look at that. Half health just from that Cataclysm. Mephisto trying to see what they can do, but Apparition's pretty low, so does get a big heal coming from the Stukov upon the return. Here comes the Riptire. Mighty Gus gonna push it back, and Molten Flame is going to just delete it. It's gone. Oh, what a stun coming out from the Anubrak, but Apparition is not in a great place. Didn't have any health to really push in onto that. MJ Doom gonna have to drop Bunker just to make sure that they can get out of it, and this time Frozen Punisher is gonna come over in favor of Minion Miners. This is gonna come down the mid lane. There's no wall, but there are some towers, so it'll get a little bit of value from that. But the Frozen Punishers, each of these circles that it's about to drop will shut down defenses, so the fort's going to stop casting once it does it again. And as you can see, everybody from Archons are like, yeah, we're not messing with that. We don't want to be up in front. We have no way to really defend until we have a wall. Speaking of wall, that'll go down here shortly as the Punisher pulled pretty far away. Mephisto, holy smokes. The durance of hate landing out there and then just throwing the team over his shoulder and securing that kill on Davalo. And that's the kind of moment that you kind of need if you're going to have to defend against a very aggressive comp like this. Being able to get a quick kill like that gives you, it relieves so much pressure against you in all of these lanes. I was going to say, I'm kind of waiting to see what Anubrak's doing here, because they can't really stun the Deathwing. They've got the reduced damage from somebody. I don't even know who does it. I think about it. Nubrak, not in a great spot now. Gets caught by the root. Flailing Swipe is going to come out. A lot of damage from that Conflag now. Out onto Stukov and Nubrak. And you see those potions, Murderin picking up one of those potions, getting about half of his health back. And Minion Miners on the hunt. They're approaching level 20. They're a little bit ahead of the Archons, not a significant amount. Or at least not significant enough that the Archons can't pick it up from the lanes that are pretty close to them here. But seeing all those red heroes elsewhere on the map, in the mid lane and the top lane, that's going to be a quick burn onto the bottom fort. Shaman Camp going to be going up in the top lane for the ICC Archons. And the top lane, of course, where the next objective is coming. Having the fort down, if Minion Miners is able to pick this up, this can be a game-winning push. It's a little bit harder for the Archons to do that, because they still have that fort in the way. In fact, they have forts in the way in all three lanes, although mid and bottom would be a little bit more, a little bit of an easier path. But level 20 is now here for the Minion Miners, and it is going to be that ignore pain for Sonya. So those far forward leaps that she's been able to get, she's now got the potential for a significant armor boost to keep her healthy when that big burst of damage comes in. Level 20 is now here as well for the Archons. So Blaze with that level 20 bunker, able to get a bigger burst of armor coming out for anybody that goes into that bunker. Deathwing trying to get a little value here, and was able to actually put a lot of damage onto the Mephisto there. Blaze up in the top lane, having to use bunker. Leap was used, and the root coming out. Flailing Swipe is going to push everybody back, but Blaze is not going to make it through here. Boxington has the Conflag here, and the Conflag is this burst of damage. Basically what happens is you've got Deathwing doing his Flame Breath, and if he does enough damage to you, then you just start exploding to everybody around you. So at this point, Archons need to make whatever value they can happen, and that value is going to come in the form of bringing down the mid fort, possibly the bottom fort. Maybe they keep, pressure with the minions coming up and look at maybe taking down the keep wall. But with Falstad here, it's going to be a little bit harder. But if they can maybe get a combo with the Anubrak stuns and a silence from Stukov, they might even be able to get the kill. Are they not going to be able to take out the fort? Oh, it's so close. Well, they've got a siege camp going in the bottom lane, so that'll, provide a little bit of pressure. They do still have catapults coming in those lanes, though, so it's not going to be much. This could be Minion Miners' moment. Anubrak's going to get caught by the stun, burrow charging away so that they don't get caught by the root. Follow up from Deckard, as the Punisher sitting at half health now. Just as a reminder for those level 20 talents here. Falstad a little bit off to the side there, trying to look maybe for that game-winning wind tunnel Top keep ultimately going to fall as the Punisher falls on the mid keep, but it is getting a little bit of damage there. Those arcane lasers still able to put damage onto that keep. Falstad pretty far away, has the ability to fly in though, so any potential fight just would not be an uneven fight. So this is ICC Archons have been in this or very similar position all 3 games, where the defenses are starting to fall. The mid fort is, I'm sorry, the mid keep is about half health. Nothing is impossible for the miners. We were talking about mac and cheese earlier. Fair enough. Now keep in mind, they don't have Sylvanas like they've had for the last couple of games. So anytime they move forward onto these, they want to have that minion wave to soak up the damage. Apparition taking a lot of damage from that Deathwing. 1 tower goes down thanks to the pressure here from minion miners. Again, siege camp in the middle, so this cannot just be ignored. It has to be addressed. And that's giving minion miners the value here. They get both towers and the wall down. At some point, something's got to happen. If you're the Archons, you've got to make a play happen. Where does that play happen? That's the tough call. Taking out the Deathwing would be huge, but it's not easy to do. Getting the Mephisto, you know, with the Durance of Hate landing onto somebody so that they can get that quick kill like they had on the Vala, maybe. But ICC Archons may be losing their bottom keep here if they keep playing a little cat and mouse game, as the miners coming in, getting a little bit of damage, moving away as the Archons have to go clear a lane. Falstad doing more work in the middle, now trying to work on that mid keep, but that means that Deathwing here is isolated. It's falling down below half health, but they just can't quite keep up. And there goes that keep. That was probably the best opportunity for the Archons to maybe get a kill. And they've got now 2 lanes of catapults coming in, so they cannot... This might be able to be it. There's the silence. The leap is going to come out to interrupt the sleep. Knockback coming from Foxington is going to push everybody away, but you can't stop that Deathwing, as mentioned. So Mac and Cheese going to get that strafe going for days. 3 heroes down on the red side, 2 on the left. Make it 3 for 3. And that is absolutely crazy. Things happened. The core, however, lost its shield from the 2 catapult minions here. Those eventually would have died, but that's permanent damage onto the core of the ICC Archons. Now, Deathwing over here, he can't do anything with these potions, right? That's just Deckard that can pick them up. So Deathwing sitting at that 10 armor at some point is gonna probably look to head up into the air to regenerate those. But right now, we've got Junkrat, we've got Mephisto. They're trying to make sure that they keep up as much in the skeletal defender count here as possible, evening it out. Everybody's coming back to the map here soon, so Archon's trying to catch this up as quickly as possible, get as much of an advantage here as they can. And I say advantage because I feel like the Junkrat Mephisto has the potential to get more of these, but ultimately they're pulling back. I don't know that this is great. They've, you know, Blaze has to kind of deal with what's going on back here, but losing this Punisher is likely game ending. So there's Sonya going into the cocoon, looking for that knockback. There it is, into the silence. Rewind coming out from the Anubrak, dives into the molten flame, as Deathwing is going to be able to finish off and pick up the frozen Punisher. And this could be the beginning here of the Archons falling. We've got 3 catapults in the top, 2 in the mid. It's not looking great. All the minion miners have to do is keep everybody busy, and they already get 2 kills out of that, and they're starting to make their way toward the core. 43%. They don't even need the Punisher at this point. They just need to get here and put damage out. Vala, however, is going to take 80-90% of her health from that Mephisto, but it doesn't matter. Falstad's going to come in with that Mighty Gust wind tunnel and just make sure that everybody's isolated. And that's going to be Minion Miners coming in with a big victory on game number 3 to win the set 2-1. Alrighty. Gonna see if we can get one of the Minion Miners in for a chat.
How's it going?
Alrighty, there we go. I was just messaging back. And I'm so excited that you're here with us.
Not anything, apparently. This guy.
Okay.
You'll have to forgive my teammate. He's a little excited.
I've met your team before. I know how they can be.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
So, all right. So we are joined here by... I don't know if you've heard, surely you've heard me say this before. I'm going to say it again. Senor Mac of Cheese. Is it okay if I call you that? Because I just love it.
If whatever works, I'm into it. Don't worry about it.
Awesome, awesome. I do see your Discord name says Sir. Of course, it's just SR in the game.
You know,
so
character limits will get you, but yeah, I've been called Senior, Senor. You know, whatever really gets you going. You know, I'm into it.
Sure, sure. All right, so I have to ask the first question, and then we'll get past the uncomfortable. Game 1, that ending. Well, tell me about it. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I've got to ask the first question. Everybody always asks it. How's the team doing?
The team's doing good. Morale's good. Everybody's good. We've honestly had this going for a while, so I think coming into this season we're pretty hopeful. So we'll just see how things go.
All right.
So
now on to the potatoes. Tell me about game 1.
Oh man. So we came out swinging the Minion Miner way. We had to draft something a little unique, we'll call it. So we knew we wanted the Nova game 1. It had gotten some buffs, and I think we were wrestling with the idea of either the 2 tanks or the 3 damage with it. I'm still not 100% sold on the 3 damage, but I'm still being told that was the reason we lost. But I'll tell you that Ming had a heyday with us, was able to just 100-0 us from no vision, and there was nothing to eat those orbs except my face. That was a little rough.
I was excited. I don't get to see a whole lot of Seeker games for Li Ming's, and so anytime that I get the opportunity, because that's my favorite build, playing Li Ming. It's just it's so satisfying hearing those sounds.
That's Marsh's favorite too. He goes full Fireflies and orb resets at 4, and oh yeah, we know exactly what that can do. And this their Ming knew what he was doing. The thing that I wasn't prepared for is he was throwing them from outside of vision. So like by the time it hit me, it was too late. I couldn't move. So if I stood still at all, I was dead.
So when they ended up getting the first kill, which was on, I think it was on Himibo, right? Himibo was playing Nova. Is that correct?
So they got me. So they got the objective, and then I think they popped me, and then we pushed back and had them, and we were getting objective, and then they popped Hemi, and I think that was kind of the beginning of the end, because we were just trickle dying after that. It was a little rough, and it was the Ming every time. Like, I'd go look at my death counter, and it was 99-0 Li Ming. So yeah.
So was there anything when that started to kind of collapse, like, because I even said when you guys lost that objective, oh, this isn't like they're gonna need more than this to get anywhere. So was there anything that kind of took place? And then I promise we'll get to the more,
No, you're good. So the thing that we wrestled with was the very last call when we went down for a boss. So we were trying to decide if we were going to try to go up to them. We thought we were going to be too slow. We thought we could out damage Seeker on boss, which was kind of stupid in retrospect. There was no way we could do that. We honestly, I think our best chance was to go core and hopefully either pull them off of boss or somehow get their boss down before the boss arrived to beat up our own. So I think had Marsh kept saying, was calling for it, and it was kind of a mixed call, and we went with the boss call. And honestly, we probably should have just went core. I think it would have given us our best chance. So
Sure.
but hindsight's whatever. And I mean, I'll full credit to Archon. They played a good game, and they certainly punished us. They exploited our comp's weakness, and I think honestly it could have gone either way. But we were getting picked, and they took advantage and had some very sharp calls there at the end. So they checkmated us more or less.
Sure. Well, it was a fantastic. If nothing else, nobody ever wants to be on the receiving side of this, but it was a fantastic finish. It was a strong defense leading into the finish of the game. So, consolation prize, it was exciting. Then you get into game number 2, and it was just like, all right, enough of the game 1 shenanigans. Let's just absolutely obliterate everything that we ever see. And, you got some fun times on the Sylvanas and going all over the place, and the combos and the CC. Like, there was more CC in that game than like any normal 3-game series has combined total. So when you're kind of setting up for that, is there any conversation between game 1 and other than the bathroom break, of course, any conversation about how to lead into this next game, or is it just like, hey, just shake it off and do the T-Swift thing? And
it was a little bit of shake it off. It was a little bit of we took another look at their carry, so we do a little bit of research on all the teams we play, and we just decided to put one particular player in a corner. I think it worked out. We knew he was never getting that chromie. There was no way. Just the win-loss on that was insane. So lessons learned. We knew what picks we could kind of force a player on. We felt we weren't too worried about. I think we kind of saw what their tanks and everybody else did, but their damage was definitely what wrecked us. So that was the adjustment, was to put more pressure on that person.
Mm-hmm.
So that was better, and honestly, the mentality of, all right, we tried the Nova, let's roll back to something that we'd more typically see, and don't get me wrong, like we threw around the idea of Cho'Gall and other stuff in the background, but I think we came out with a better comp game too, for sure.
Yeah, and it worked really well. The kill count was 8-2. You guys didn't lose a structure. It was a very strong game overall. There, the one real significant play I wanted to kind of talk about, which nobody died, but it was kind of an example of high level play, was the initial boss call, then the retreat, and then the fact that you had camps everywhere that forced them to pull back, that gave you the boss call, that kind of staggered everything out and ultimately into a win. So when you're setting up that play, and then I'm assuming the original thought was, we have other lanes of pressure, they're going to go deal with that, so this should be ours. Right. And then they come in and you're like, oh, okay, so this is a gift. How did that play out for you guys? Was it initially that you were going to have to pull back, or were you thinking that you could fight them? Like,
so we knew the minute that we called the boss that we were likely either going to engage the fight or completely pull off, because all we were trying to do was, like you said, distract from the other lanes. We knew they were pushed up. We knew we would get structures for free, or at least structure damage for free. So we tried to force them out of position, and best case scenario, like somebody overextends on a desperate play and we get a pick. Worst case scenario, we're still getting structure damage. So it's a win-win for us. The only way that we lose is if we overcommit to a fight that we honestly don't need. And we like to pride ourselves on our macro. So we try to get teams to extend in unfair fights, and just really try to extend that advantage into a win. So pretty much just like you called it.
And that is an absolute perfect segue into game number 3. I mentioned it in game number 3 about how you were, and referenced back to game number 2, how you were able to keep the camps going at critical times. And you could kind of see the difference between when you guys sent out a camp and then were looking for a fight, as compared to when the Archons would send out a camp that didn't really have much value, or they didn't get any value out of it because they didn't, create that value play. So I guess there's no question with that. I just wanted to point out that I did get into describing that and showcasing that in game number 3. But in game number 3, you return to the kind of the frontline main tank, Deathwing. Is this going to be a staple for season 13? Main tank Deathwing
Oh,
for you guys?
we always love Deathwing. I don't know that we played it too heavily last season. I think we had a lot more fixation on some more like heavier CC tanks like a May. I think we saw a lot of May play last season. I think even a little bit of Garrosh too. We used to do a lot of Deathwing Uther. I'm not saying we're going to full rotate to that, but Deathwing's something that we're definitely comfortable with. He just like ranged Deathwing just provides a lot of utility. You have the slow at the pool, you have the stun on demand, and then of course he keeps his fire regardless. So Deathwing was obviously a giant nuisance in that entire fight. So yeah, I think we're going to see quite a bit more Deathwing this season, one way or another. It's usually banned against us. It's very rare that we actually get to let it through. So maybe, obviously this interview is not helping that case, but
Deathwing bans the rest of the season.
That's kind of the way it works. Is if you ban out one of us, somebody else gets something they want. So
well, and I've played against the I don't recall exactly the makeup. I'm fairly confident that the Deathwing Nova combo was there when we last played against you in Storm League, and we lost to it. It was a little bit. It started off in the other direction. I think we were ahead, and then we lost because it was oppressive. So there you go. It's a tough thing to fight against. Last question for you, specifically as Senor Mac of Cheese, asked in the middle of game number 2. What kind of cheese do you like in your mac and cheese?
What kind of cheese do I like? Oh man, that is a good question. I like a good sharp cheddar. You got to have a little accent to your mac and cheese. Like it's got to be. You got to have just a little bit of bite to it. Otherwise, what's the point?
Fair enough. I think somebody did mention a sharp cheddar paired with pepper jack.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Yeah, I'm into that.
Smoked pepper jack blended with sharp cheddar, says Rick Astley.
Rick Astley's got it. I know that guy. He's got it down.
And he's never going to give you up.
He's never going to give me up. He did send me a post in my Discord. So yes, I did see the chat.
All right, so let's go ahead and wrap up. Any shout outs for the evening?
Obviously, Archons, thanks for the good game. That was a really fun series. And obviously, I thank you for dethroning Jimmy's 100% Nova win rate. We're very happy that he could take that tag down. But the good game to you guys. Good game to the team. Thanks for good seasons and looking forward to this one. So appreciate everybody's involvement. And thank you for the cast. Obviously, you jumped in last minute, and we really, really, really appreciate that. So
honestly, I was super happy when it came up. Like as soon as they said, "Hey, I can't do that," I was like typing so fast. I was like that cat that's like, bah, 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 the cat gif, because I really wanted to cast a game tonight, and I'm excited that I'm happy that it was such an exciting series. It really was a lot of fun to cast.
We were happy to entertain. So.
Awesome.
Glad it could be so close.
Cool. Well, thanks for joining me. Have a great night. And don't forget to report your match. Good luck for the rest of the season.
All right. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yep. All right. So 2-1 Minion Miners over the ICC Archons. Really fantastic match. Tons. 0% Nova. Right? Exactly, Murderin. Went from 100% Nova to 0% Nova. I want to see that on the Discord. I want to see that 0% Nova. We're going to go ahead and check to see who else is out there casting tonight. I know there were a couple of games. It's like Rock has got one. IceX is casting Division C. Let me go see if they're still going. Looks like they are still going, I think. Oh, nope, that's an interview. So let's check what Rock has got going on. See if there's anything else. What do we got? So this is EH Team versus Phoenix Rising. Or do we have... Give me just 1 second, folks. Gonna see where we can go for a raid tonight. And I might send you someplace... That's not what I want. Thanks, Twitch front page. Way to just blow it out there. I might actually send you guys. So if you definitely want to go check out some more Nexus Gaming series, I'm going to go ahead and give you Raka's link here, so you can check that out for. That's it. Yes. Okay. So if you want to go watch more Nexus Gaming series, then you can check that out here at this link. Otherwise, stick with the raid. I'm actually going to take you to a music stream here. And we're going to go to a pretty chill place. This place is called Closure Club. It's a super relaxing place. It's nice for a Friday evening, and I hope you enjoy it. Thanks everybody for being here tonight. Have a wonderful evening, and good luck with those of you that have a season coming up. Good luck with the rest of your season. See you soon.